17 of the NFL. And our focus is on the Lions' rocket arm quarterback.
Downtown between Brush Street and I-375. That's where we're located in the heart of Detroit at Ford Field, which first opened back in 2002. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the New York Giants and the Detroit Lions. Brandon Gaudin joined by Charles Davis. CD, you look at the Lions in this matchup, they've got to be thinking, hey, we've got a good chance to be successful here running the football.
No doubt about that, because that has to be their mindset. It should be their mindset. This is one of the better rushing offenses in the league, and they're squaring off against a team that's not at all strong on the other side of the ball. So this could be one where we see this offense try to impose their will through the trenches, and in fact, they should.
The kicker, Graham Gano, set to put his foot into this one. And we are underway from Ford Field. Fields it right around the goal line. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their rookie quarterback.
And I thought in last week's game, he found a way to win like a good pitcher without his best stuff. I mean, he did throw 2 interceptions, offset by 1 touchdown pass. Not the ratio, not the numbers you're really looking for as a QB. But finding a way to win, that's all that really matters.
Throwing on first down, Jennings. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A good start offensively. 15 yards on the game's initial play. Just the first quarter of a tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season opener opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. I ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I had missed him, it would have been a different story. Night.
Looking to throw on second down. Jennings. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. A week ago, they dominated in the trenches. They got in the backfield for 5 sacks, setting the tone there, one on the opening drive.
And it sets the tone for the opposing team, doesn't it? Remember when you were a kid and you went to the theater and saw that horror movie that stuck with you for a while and you were a little bit jumpy? Well, if you saw 5 sacks the previous week and you're the quarterback, he might be a little jumpy as well. It might throw off his timing.
Yeah, it'd be jumpy, but sorry, Bob and Linda wouldn't let me see a PG movie until I was 17.
Well, that's just good parenting.
So 8 yards on the completion there, and it'll be 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
On 4th down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Here's Jackson to return. Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the former Louisville Cardinal, Teddy Bridgewater.
And I thought it was a really nice performance last week by him. 3 touchdown passes. I think that signifies exactly what he was getting done. He did have the 1 interception.
But that's the ratio you say you're okay with, right?
If you go 3-1, you're going to be pretty happy over the course of the season. And let's face it, he'll never blame the receiver publicly. But behind closed doors, he probably told his agent, hey, what's the deal? I should have had a perfect game.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 18 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown.
11 touchdowns on the ground this season, and the pride really extends throughout the entire offense. And in this case, I'm focusing on the offensive line. The leverage, the ability to get downfield, make that extra block in order to give him more space to run. They really look forward to him carrying the football because they're going to get him to the end zone.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. To throw, Bridgewater. Finds his tight end Oliver here outright. Well, this defense for the Lions, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2. They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Throwing, Bridgewater. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive, INT. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Bridgewater. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice, sustained series to begin the game that will continue after picking up another first.
I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
Bridgewater's throw caught by Tony. And they move this all the way down to the 9. A very solid gain of 27.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. Here's Bridgewater. That's to Galladay, and he's got it. Touchdown, New York. Kenny Galladay, his first touchdown on the year. And the Giants will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. Well, as we know, they have already clinched the NFC North, a wild card game waiting for them to open the postseason, and they have earned the right to host it, Charles, in front of the home crowd.
And this is a division with a lot of history and legacy. And if you're a team to take the crown out of this group, you've already proven you're one of the names to watch in the NFC playoffs. I think they'll be an incredibly tough out in the postseason.
A gain of 9 brings up
On second down, Swift. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more. The Lions at 11-4 now on the year. They have certainly got it rolling as of late. Winners of 6 in a row.
And I think this is where, as a head coach, you show your team some trust. Instead of just talking about winning, the very next game, you point out to them, we're on a nice run here. And if we keep doing this, we'll be playing at home in the postseason. And we know that that could ride us all the way to the Super Bowl if we get that done.
The numbers for him from a week ago. A boatload of carries, 131 yards.
And they've already clinched a playoff berth, so I'm eager to see how they approach this game because some teams' philosophy is to go ahead and get guys out. Other teams' philosophy, continue to do what you're doing best. I expect them to go ahead and use their top guys all the way through this one.
To throw on third down, Jennings eluding the pressure right. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Well, hang on a second here, because on that last play, it appears one of the Giants shaken up. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. 2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
He was brought down at his 49-yard line. 1 yard gain. Brings up second.
Right back to Swift again on second down. And he's going to get this pretty close to the first down marker at the Giants' 42. Calling an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That third down conversion good for 23.
But I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Swift going to try up the middle. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Off play action. Jennings. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete.
He was covered by Aaron Robinson.
On 3rd down, Jennings being chased out left. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. Keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down. And his kick is indeed good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks will tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Couldn't do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself that this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play caller.
Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. Forced out to his left. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. So line of scrimmage still at 39 on 2nd and 10. Throwing is Bridgewater. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. On 3rd down, Bridgewater. And he finds his target. It's Schultz. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. That'll give him 8 that time. And that'll bring up 4th down.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
On 4th down, Jamie Gillen on to punt for the Giants. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
An 8-yard loss on the play. It's now 3rd down.
After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Second quarter action now from Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. This is Swift on the counter, and he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, I think it's back to the drawing board, or should I say in today's game, the Surface tablet after this drive. 3 plays, they go backwards. They will look like they've gotten something going right there, but they'll have to punt the football away to end this one.
Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. The quick feet by Jackson. That'll be a 48-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Possession switching back to the New York Giants as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
On 4th down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And the Lions will take over. Detroit's offense ready to take over. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
On second down, McFarland. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Off the play fake, Jennings. He's got this complete to Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. If points result, we'll call this play significant.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Swift knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. Second down. To throw on second down, Jennings. And it's knocked away and incomplete. And now on third down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Steps away to his left, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12. And he continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure. And these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Here's Jack Fox now as he's on to punt for Detroit. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. And New York set to take the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
42 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender, and then the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, sometimes a thing of beauty.
On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. The sack recorded, it's a loss of 5, and now it's second down.
The competition comes up in so many different ways, and right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. How about 5 sacks last week? We just saw their first one of this game.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. On the draw, this is Barkley. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33. The Giants on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. They'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay. And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Here's Bridgewater. Over the middle, he completes it to Robinson. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. To throw again on second down. Bridgewater. That's complete to Tony. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
It's a gain of 6. First down, New York.
A first down throw for Bridgewater. Steps away. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down. Now Bridgewater. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up third down on the sand.
That's 3 sacks now. That's not much of a surprise considering the should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Third and long now after the sack. We'll see if Bridgewater has a response. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. On is Jamie Gillen to punt this one away. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Now a dump off here complete. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to it. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
On 1st and 10, Jennings. He dumps this off underneath to McFarland. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. They'll get 13 yards for the second play in a row.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play. One-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those too.
Now, and hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And this is taken into the end zone. A fumble recovery and a Giants touchdown.
Touchdown, New York.
Huge, huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
Extra point try, good by Gano. And that pushes the lead up to 11. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kicks away following that fumble return. No run back here from McFarland, a touchback, and the ball out to the 25. And Detroit getting set to go now. On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4. Second down.
He's tackled at the 29-yard line.
We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will join us from Orlando with our halftime report. But business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
Flush to his right. And seeing nowhere to throw. Now it's third down. To throw on third down, Jennings. That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least it'll be 4th down. And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away.
So a change of possession here on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Saquon Barkley and the Giants offense set to kick off their next drive. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Well, hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down.
From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. Over the middle, complete. That's Schultz.
And he will have a Giants 1st down, and he's going to have it by plenty. Able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
Bridgewater now.
Oliver, the tight end, making the catch.
Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. To the air again with Bridgewater. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Bridgewater on 3rd and 2.
He finds his man. It's Robinson. And he will have a Giants 1st down as they're able to convert, albeit not by much, on 3rd and a yard.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage, so they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Bridgewater.
And he'll get this underneath, dropping it off for Barkley.
And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. So we've reached halftime here on New Year's Eve, as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We begin on this first day of January with a couple of old rivals doing battle. Minnesota making the trip to Lambeau to take on Green Bay. And they're drawing close to halftime with the Vikings out on top. Kirk Cousins, 4 touchdown passes. From there, we head down south to Tampa to check on the Bucs at home at Raymond James Stadium. And this one going the visitors' way, as the Texans have the lead in that one. Dameon Pierce, 2 touchdown runs on the afternoon. Finally, we're off to Atlanta to check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And they were winners in that one as they take care of the visiting Chicago Bears. Tom Brady, over 300 yards passing in the victory with a couple of touchdown passes as well. With that, let's get a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Giants. And even though they've got the big cushion, I would imagine they'd like to see a little more out of their passing game. Pretty pedestrian numbers through 2 quarters of play. Meanwhile, for the Lions, we check on their numbers on the ground in the first half, as they know they'll need to be better to overcome this halftime deficit.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.
Taken at the goal line. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Giants about set to go to begin this third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. And I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they established that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead, because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll go to Barkley again. Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
A handoff to Barkley on the option.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Now it's a bootleg with Bridgewater. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
David Hutchinson in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down.
And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet, just because I won't wait till the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
So possession goes over here on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
40 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Lions linemen might have moved.
That's on big Mekhi Becton, first-round pick in 2020.
The full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
A handoff, Swift running.
Puts it on the carpet, it's out. And the Giants have it, it's picked up. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
Bridgewater now after the fumble recovery. He finds his man, complete. It's Schultz. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That puts him in excellent position, 1st and goal after a gain of 19.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago, followed it up with another nice one here, and before you know it, they're already looking at 1st and goal.
Bridgewater to throw it. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. Empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and touchdown, Giants.
Dalton Schultz, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Giants are able to capitalize on the forced fumble by turning it into 6 points.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
Gano now to add the extra point. And it's 21-3. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it was the tight end Dalton Schultz on the touchdown reception to cap the drive. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This taken in at the goal line. Detroit's offense ready to take over. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. They'll stay on the ground with Swift. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
Now that's how you start to get back in the good graces of your head coach. Remember, he fumbled on the last possession. How about the faith they showed him, giving him the ball again, and he repaid him, picking up a first down.
On first down, McFarland. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Here's a toss play right to Swift. Oh, look at the juke. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. A couple of first downs, has the football position at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He'll get this one to McFarland out of the backfield. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Here comes the Lions punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a great job on special teams to down it as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. Flushed out right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. Throwing again on 2nd down. Bridgewater. And he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2. They get to him for a loss of 4. And it brings up 3rd down on the sack.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
3rd and long now after the sack, and we'll see if Bridgewater has a response. Barkley, inside handoff.
And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a fourth down. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on 3rd and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good-sized run.
A really good run, but how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on 4th down. Do you really have a play you believe in? Or are you just hopeful, and you got to sell it to the big man before it gets called?
Here's Jamie Gillen now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Here's Williams to return. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10. And Detroit getting set to go now.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
It's 3rd and 7.
On 3rd down, Jennings.
Open man there is Collins, complete.
And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Now a give, right side, Swift. 64 yards rushing for him now to this point.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard.
A gain of 9 brings up 2nd and 1.
They'll go option to the short side.
What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run.
The decision to keep it turns out to be a good one. 11 yards in the first down.
Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it'll be 2nd down.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
Back to throw. Jennings. Eluding the pressure right. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Looking to throw. Jennings. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that'll get the deficit down to 15.
So that maybe not exactly what they were hoping for, but it does get them back within a couple of scores.
And at this point in the 3rd quarter, you don't have much margin for error, and that means you can't have drives that end with nothing. Whether it's a punt, a turnover on downs, those have to go away. You have to end with a kick, either a field goal or an extra point after a touchdown.
And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21.
And the Giants ready to come out now. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Back now at Ford Field. It's the Giants with the football and also the lead as we get set to start quarter number 4. Bridgewater on 1st down.
Quick throw, knocked away, and incomplete.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Off the play fake, Bridgewater. That's caught by Galladay.
And they're going to get this up to midfield.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
Bridgewater now from the 50. That's complete to Robinson.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
They'll try the right side and hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th.
Yeah, Detroit back in possession of the football. They trail by 2 scores in the 4th, and their defense did its job getting the fumble recovery. Now, time to see what this offense has left in the tank.
Following the fumble recovery, Jennings got his man complete over the middle. It's Mitchell.
And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Brings up 2nd and 1.
They will run straight ahead with Swift.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. Now they try the right side here. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
It's now 2nd and 6.
Back to throw. Jennings. And it's out. He put it on the carpet. But I believe the Lion was there to recover it. Yes, they will indeed keep possession. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
On 1st down, Jennings to the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feed down complete. Off play action, Jennings.
And that one going to come up short, low throw.
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. Again, he'll drop to throw. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
It's 4th down.
And his kick is good. And they're hanging around here as the lead's down to 12.
So the defense are able to force their first turnover of the game, and then they add on to that by getting the field goal.
And you don't just want to take the ball away from your opponent, partner. You want to make them hurt as well. And if you don't score yourself on defense, turn it over to your offense and have them put points on the board.
Darnay Holmes now from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. Another drive coming up for New York's offense. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs, they can't touch the ball.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Bridgewater. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. But I believe the Giants got this back, and they will hold on to the possession. On play action, it's Bridgewater. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the fourth quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think he continued to do so.
A first down carry for Barkley. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 92 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Play fake. Bridgewater. They'll roll him out right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage.
A 7-yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 45-yard line.
To throw again on second down. Bridgewater. He finds his target. It's Schultz.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Bridgewater.
That's complete to Tony. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. The passing game continues to be their friend, even with a stable lead here in the fourth, Charles. They're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them?
A first down throw for Bridgewater. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Another try after the first down sack. Bridgewater. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now third down. Throwing. Bridgewater. He finds his man. Complete. That's Schultz. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up.
Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside.
Fourth down, they're going. Bridgewater.
That's caught again by Schultz. And the Giants are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the fourth, and boom, he's on the money.
And you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is first and goal.
Barkley will score. Touchdown, New York. So it's a pretty good season he's putting together running the football. That now 10 rushing touchdowns on the year.
And we know this is a passing league, and those numbers throwing the football, they seem to go up and up every year. But there's still something to having a reliable back you can count on in the red zone to bring things home for you. And that's what he's been doing all season long.
Gano for the extra point. And that one makes this a 19-point game. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And it's capped off by a touchdown run from Saquon Barkley. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
So out now come the Lions.
This has been frustrating for them to this point. They have not looked the same as they did coming in, riding that impressive 6-game win streak.
Throwing to start the drive. Jennings. And that is incomplete. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
He was covered by Aaron Robinson.
Looking to throw. Jennings. He rifles one that's intercepted.
And the Giants are going to take possession of the football.
Intercepted by the Giants.
He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth-quarter lead. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. At issue here, does the football make contact with the ground before he secured it? And I think some of these angles are going to give us a pretty good look.
Secured is the important part because the ball can touch the ground, but it can't be loose when it does. So that's what they're going to have to try and figure out.
Up the middle with Barkley. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Sets him up nicely. 1st and goal. It was a pickup of 14.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
A good pickup there, 7 yards, and it's going to be 2nd and goal now.
Again, 7. Brings up 2nd and goal at the 2-yard line.
And Barkley will try to punch it in. And he is in. Touchdown, New York. Saquon Barkley
hitting double digits with his 10th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Giants are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this fourth-quarter lead. Well, wherever he is on the field, he is certainly slippery with a football in his hands, and he proved it right there.
And normally moves like that aren't supposed to work this deep in the red zone because there's not enough space. Normally way more effective when you're working out in the open field. But here, incredible shiftiness, excellent contact balance.
And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. Is this a touchdown? That's the question. CD, what are they looking for here?
You just need any part of the football to break the plane. You don't need the whole that front part of the white line. And if you draw an imaginary plane going straight up, that's what they need to cross.
So take away the touchdown. The officials rule he did not get the football to break the plane.
We welcome you back. They've got it 3rd and goal here as they try to finish off their victory. Here's Bridgewater. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. They'll try the field goal now with Graham Gano from the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. Gano's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. Detroit's offense ready to take over. Now, this game went off the rails early for them and never really got back on track. And these fans, they were expecting to be on the other side of the scoreboard, but that is not the case as we play on here in this fourth quarter.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Throwing on first down. Jennings. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. On first and 10, Jennings. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
He was covered by Xavier McKinney.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. A 15-yard touchdown grab.
And the Lions are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter.
Dancing to his left. And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is.
But they tried to get 2 and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this will be recovered by the Giants, and that ought to just about do it. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. New York set to take the field.
Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the fourth quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much.
Here's a give to Barkley. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. They'll run it again with Barkley. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. They'll try to field goal now with Graham Gano. This to make it a 3-score game late. Gano's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So with that, you figure now this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
This fielded right at the goal line. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
And Detroit getting set to go now.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but The self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
So a victory here for the men in blue, the New York Giants, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I'll bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for the Giants, they avoid that 10th loss and move to 7-9 on the year.